All right, y'all, welcome back. This is Real Men of Real Estate, and we are in this final segment going to let Luis finish what he was going to say and start giving you a little bit of an overview of what we talked about and give you a summary so you have hopefully some good points to go home with so you're making some good decisions. Sorry, Luis, why don't you go ahead and say what you're going to say, man?
No worries. So we used to sell. So my team, we had a team in the East Bay, San Francisco area out of Fremont, and we were selling in Oakland, Vallejo, Hayward, that whole area. We sold for 6 years, and I shut it down during COVID because of regulation. We lost $90,000 in 45 days because we couldn't do inspections, and that's in revenue.
Yeah.
We ended up closing the team because we couldn't really function for a long time, and even now it's super hard. I mean, it's moving better, but that is what we call the Kamala Harris district because she's from there, and she ran a lot of the policies there. But what I wanted to say is I have a client that lost a duplex to the city of Oakland on 11th Street last year because of regulation. The amount of fines on the building, it was an old building. He was an ex-builder, and he didn't really care. He was a builder. That was a second property for him. Very simple guy. Long story short, the fines on the building were so insane. They were like $680,000 in fines that the city put on him that he let the building go.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the mortgage was $300,000. The fines were $680. He got an attorney. I know the attorney. He's from Orange County. He does all the stuff for me. But the attorney fought tooth and nail to reduce those. The city refused every single time. There was nothing he could do to get the fees reduced. And it was mostly interest.
Yeah.
That's the insane part. It was interest and penalties, and the city would not budge, and they took the building.
Yeah. So
it was just really insane.
Yeah. And I hate to start wrapping up on that note because that was depressing. Just kidding. It was fine.
Yeah, I know. Right? Yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just messing with you, man.
But that's the reality, right?
No, but that's a good point. So,
cue sad song.
It does suck. It really isn't great for everybody. And I think that is kind of where I want to start summing it up. So in talking about this stuff, COVID has been a natural disaster that's affected pretty much the entire world. Everyone's changing the rules around it. And what we're seeing is that there has been an exodus of people from high-priced states that have heavy regulation. Now, if we didn't have regulation in California, we'd be like Texas. They wouldn't care. They'd stay. But with laws, regulations, people are moving out. When people move out, it is going to create a new demand in those areas. There was a thing that happened in California we talked about where they were building on farmland in Corona and Eastvale and areas outside of the city because it was close enough to the city where the lifestyle would be relatively the same, and they could build on those areas for cheap. And so it created a lot of demand until the market shifted, and then created a lot of product that they couldn't sell. And it depressed those market areas. So a lot of it's going to be based on timing, I think, where it depends on how fast they get the project done and how cheap they can get it sold and anything like that. But you're still going to see a movement of people to areas that will make their lives more comfortable. All this is based on comfort and what they're accustomed to. If you can move to an area and the most unaccustomed thing you can have is heat or cold, then maybe life's not so bad. And that's going to change how you make decisions. And so we're going to see more and more and more of that. But what we're going to have to pay attention to, the thing that we've been talking about a little bit, is the defaults, is the banks, is the regulation of money. Is this going to be a place where we have to worry about interest rates going up to 5% and 6% when they've all been at 2%, 3% for the better part of a decade? That's going to change how many refinances get done. That's going to change how many purchases and sales get done. It's going to change affordability. People can only afford so much. If I'm a banker, well, I might make something, but if I am a school teacher, I may not be able to afford the same amount if I'm a real estate person. So it's going to change the affordability of everyone. So how that all kind of combines itself to become this chain of events is you're going to see one domino to the next. And like the notice of defaults we were talking about in cities like Santa Ana, if you see more and more of that taking place, that will then have a trickle-down effect to other areas. That means people don't have jobs. That means they couldn't get jobs. They couldn't afford their payment, and now they're going to go rent, theoretically. Well, rents have also gone up about 20%. That affordability is shocked. Well, maybe that rent affordability turns into rent control. That could happen too, which changes how investors want to make their decisions. Do they really want to hold on to those properties? So it's going to be this whole ecosystem of things that are going to move around each other because of the implementation of COVID regulations that weren't there because it didn't exist. Now it does, and it's a way of life now. So it's going to change the ecosystem. What I can tell you is that based upon anything new that changes the entire landscape of an industry is also opportunity. When the iPhone came along, it just beat the whole phone system together. Now, iPhone has become its own ecosystem. So what I want to do is thank my guests for today. We will be here next time, right here on KCAA Radio. This is The Real Men of Real Estate. I would like to thank my very good friend and co-host for the day, Clinton Fauché of Fauché Real Estate Group, and my other co-host, Luis Digonzini of Digonzi Real Estate Group. Sorry, man, I don't want to say your name wrong.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah,
you
so
said it right the second time.
These are great guys with us today. We will have our information posted on the video for anyone who wants to get in touch with us for any other questions, communication, or otherwise for further advice. Once again, thank you from me to you, and we'll see you next time.